Brian in Montreal, Canada. Brian, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I'd just like to mention two things. The first is a news, you could say. Up here in Quebec, we have private clinics that are free, that are controlled and run by the government. They're called CLSCs. Well, I have the internal document that they received last month telling all of their healthcare workers that, yes, they will be forced to take the inoculation shot. They have to consider the public's risk over their own personal preferences. So this is happening up here in Quebec, too.
Yeah, it's global. I mean, this is all directed by the UN publicly under the World Health Organization. And here's the issue. And I already knew this, but to see them admit it on Fox News like it was a good thing. They said, oh, people really want it, but there's only limited supplies of 200,000 dosages going to Indiana and going to Texas and going to New York for nurses and medical workers and police. And it's a nasal spray of live flu virus. And yes, it can spread the flu. And yes, it can hurt you if you have an autoimmune problem. But that's okay. So they're literally going to spread the H1N1 with the live nasal shot spray. And then everybody's going to panic when suddenly it's spreading. Just they do it in plain view because the public doesn't know what day it is. They don't know. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing to see all this going on.
If it's all right with you, Alex, I'd just also like to mention that on the site that I'm on most of the time, 12160, I have a chemtrail reporting page, and I have the 1975 Weather Modification Treaty between Canada and the U.S. up on it. So for any of the clowns out there that actually believe that they're responsible for polluting and that we should be paying a carbon tax, you might want to go and read that treaty and a few of the patents that I put up to see what they've been spraying over your head for the last
I hear you,
years.
And they now admit they've been doing it. It's now declassified. They're not even denying it now. The White House science czar publicly gives speeches about how they're chemtrailing you and how great it is. Now, let's just continue with phone calls as promised. Let's go ahead and talk to Catherine in Missouri. Catherine, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. This is Catherine Bleish from the documentary Camp FEMA.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I wanted to make sure you, knew how to pronounce my name. You said it wrong a couple times. It's Bleish, long I, like German.
Well, you know, that's my specialty, ma'am.
Well, I wanted to let you know, I know you're pretty frustrated right now, and I know a lot of us are, but there are some things to be hopeful about, and I feel really blessed to be here in the state of Missouri right now because we have state reps who are waking up right before our eyes. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever been a witness to. I've been to all 4 of the MIAC hearings, and we are headed in a very positive direction. I know that Bob Dixon, the chairman of the committee, was quoted saying, it's unlikely that we will abolish the Fusion Center, but one of the things they're considering is getting the federal government out of the Fusion Center and making it just a state-based thing, which I think
I mean, look, the fusion centers were set up by the feds. They were paid. They're federalizing everything. They're putting Army liaison in with the police. They're saying the veterans and gun owners are what Homeland Security's for, which is the truth. And it just needs to be abolished. I mean, this whole thing about, what, you want the terrorists to get us? The terrorists are the government. They're staging and provocateuring every single terror attack I've ever studied.
But here's the good news. Our state reps are waking up to the fact that the federal government is the problem. So I'm happy and excited to report that. I also wanted to let you know that Camp FEMA will be having its world premiere, a public viewing, at the Midwest Liberty Fest, which is going to be in Des Moines, Illinois this weekend. It will actually air on Saturday. And what's really special about this event, the Midwest Liberty Fest, is that we are bringing together the anti-war movement, the Tea Party movement, the Ron Paulers, and for the first time, you are going to see an actual event where real grassroots movers and shakers, not just talking heads, but people who have found success in the things they do.
Good. Well, that's exciting. Ma'am, I appreciate your call. You do a good job in that documentary. By the way, you can get Camp FEMA discounted with Fall the Republic if you ordered it right now. We have introductory prices on that. And by the way, I've got the Mayo Clinic's fact sheet about influenza virus vaccine live nasal route. And I've got 3 stacks of news on the flu. I'm going to collate through this At 8 after next hour, I'm going to do a segment on flu, the latest developments. I kind of procrastinate when I look at the stack and go, ugh, because it's so horrible and so unbelievable. But it's really happening. Influenza, they admit it's going to spread the flu. I mean, these guys commit huge crimes right out in front of no one, and they just get away with it. It's like Hardin, Montana, where they have a convicted felon for scams running the police department, running the jail, running the detention center, and they admit he's a criminal, and the local boss hogs say, we don't care, he's going to run things. And it's like this, oh yeah, we're spreading the flu. And then they're fear-mongering, saying it's killing large portions of pregnant women that get it, but that's out of the sick and impaired women that went to the hospital with H1N1, 25% died. I mean, this flu is already on track to peak next week. But that was under the regular gauge. Now that it's been nasally sprayed into people where it will breed and then be sneezed back out on you, get ready for it to just spread like wildfire. And it'll be in plain view and nobody will get in trouble. Mayo Clinic. Oh, man. I've got to somehow get emotionally divorced from all of this because it's just too much. It's too unbelievable that we're this bad. We're this stupid. That they're banning neighbors keeping each other's kids, that they're banning farms and ranches that aren't government controlled, that they're banning side of the road pumpkin stands, that it's just scum, government scum. And all the worship of government, and the PSAs and the ads and the Stasis and the citizen spies and all of it being announced. Why does this have to happen? Why? And they admit all over the country, small-town police are just robbing everyone on the road, stealing their wallets, and then they don't even get in trouble. I mean, it's just... Maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good they're spreading the flu. Maybe it's good they're putting poison in the water. Maybe it's good they've gone from 1 in 25,000 with autism to 1 in 96. Maybe it's good they're putting sodium fluoride in the water, which they admit doubles bone cancer. One of the hundreds of things. Maybe dying of bone cancer is good. Maybe I've been wrong. I mean, how do these people like it? How do they think it's funny? How do I get the way they are and not care anymore? Maybe there is something wrong with me that I'm at a hotel after leaving foreign mercenaries taking over a town. I go to the Billings Hotel and there's police and Homeland Security with little kids training them to be spies. And maybe I should have just gone, oh, thank you, spies. It's so American. Maybe I should have just fallen down on my knees and began worshiping them. Maybe I should have just, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I've got something wrong with me that seeing a bunch of kids being trained to spy on their parents is bad. Maybe I am the bad person. I mean, let me ask you guys, is it bad that I don't think the state should be training people's kids to spy on their parents? Maybe that's good. Jaron Neihart, you have any comments? No, I mean, seriously, maybe we are bad. Maybe kids spying on their parents trained by the feds is normal. Maybe Nazi Germany was good. Maybe Stalinist Russia was good. Maybe Mao was good. Maybe we were the bad guys 50, 60 years ago saying that was bad. Maybe Hitler and Mao were right. Maybe Lenin was right. Maybe we are the bad guys. Maybe George Washington, like FEMA teaches, is bad. Maybe Thomas Jefferson is bad. Maybe the UN's right.
America's #1 source.
Cutting all the sarcasm. Folks, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't have to tell most of you that. And I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, hardcore classical tyranny is running wild. And I can't believe how bad it is. I mean, I'm not even looking for this stuff. And it's staring me in the eye everywhere. And I know they're putting stuff in the vaccines to give us brain damage and cancer. And it pisses me off, man. I want to bring these people to justice. But somehow we've got to get other people to have a hunger to bring these criminals to justice. Somehow we got to reach out to the public. And I know we're trying, and I know our numbers are growing, but let's just go to your phone calls, and I'm going to cover the flu and everything else. Let's go ahead and talk to, who's up next here?